Paul McGettigan out there amongst them, as well as their managers, Tony Murphy, Ger Keane and Martin Collins. There's Mick Deegan. Today a very special day for him, because not alone is he playing in an All-Ireland club football final, but he's also celebrating his 34th birthday. And while they're having a little chat, we can have a look at the team. The suspension of Charlie Redmond, of course, gives Tony Gorman his opportunity to participate in his club's greatest day. The often unfortunate Gorman, he's been plagued by injuries, is drafted into the half-forward line alongside Podge Cunningham and Eddie Barr. This is the toss between the two captains. Ken Spratt, who takes over at fullback instead of John Joe Keefe on the left, and Ray Silk. And it would appear that the Galway man has won the toss at least. Ray Silk, of course, a member of the Galway senior football team that have now qualified for the quarter-final, part of that panel, as well as the Corofin #1, Martin McNamara. Contrasting fortunes for two Corofin players today. Take Tomás Greeny, for instance. He gets his chance to play in the All-Ireland final due to a most unfortunate hand injury James Lardner received in the semi-final victory over Dungiven. In contrast, Michael Kenny, who broke a bone in his wrist before the semi-final, returns and wins the number 13 jersey back and plays beside Eddie Steed and Derek Riley. The only other change is at fullback, where Jason Killeen gets the nod ahead of Kevin Newell. It's the first time since I started coming to Croke Park on All-Ireland Cup final day that I heard over the public address system as the Burr Sarsfields match was starting, but the Hogan stand was packed to capacity. And as a result, they were diverting people over to Hill 16 and indeed over to the new Cusick stand as well. It's a windy day here in Croke Park, mild in terms of temperatures, but if there's any advantage, it's going from right to left. And you may know that all floodlighting, and for many years the Galway senior football team used their pitch as the training headquarters, and that floodlighting played a huge role in their progress here to Croke Park. I think even the most experienced All-Ireland club, and uniquely I think Corofin have created a huge amount of support, not just in Galway, but indeed in the province of Connacht. And of course, one of Galway's 3-in-a-row stars, Jimmy Duggan, played in midfield on the Corofin team that won the Galway Championship in 1977. So rich in talent down through the generations. So the scene is set for this historic clash. Erin's Isle playing with what seemingly is the breeze from right to left. It's a crossfield breeze as we start this All-Ireland Cup football final. The band goes off, so too is the microphone taken away. And Pat Casserly is about to start the 1998 All-Ireland Cup football final. Will the bonfires be blazing in the west or in the north side of Dublin? Keith Barr with the first free of the game. Well anticipated by Ollie Burke. And Corofin against Ungiven, when the Derry cornerback had been sent off, placed their extra man strategically in front of Joe Brawley. So that sort of cute management tactics, I'm sure, will play a role here this afternoon as well. Already Jerry Burke has picked up an injury and seems to be suffering. He's one of the heroes of this Corofin side, and his performance at midfield alongside Aidan Donlan has been a vital factor. And picking up a knee injury there, but seems to be fine. Captain of the Galway Miners in 1976, they won that All-Ireland minor title. Now 39 years of age. Erin Zyle. Number 22 on the back there, of course, is Tony Gorman of Erin Zyle. Otherwise, the numbers will be 1 to 15. Full forward is Eddie Steed, Galway Footballer of the Year. Shane Conlisk, Sigerson Cup hero with Athlone. He's going all the way through. Can he get a foot to it? Danger here for Erin Zyle. Great defending by Gary O'Connell. Referee allows the play to continue, and it is Martin Naughton that comes clear. But it's a very poor ball. Two Corofin players going for it. Surely a point to be taken. And it's gone wide. And Shane Conlisk and Aidan Donlan just having a brief discussion. This man has 2 Dublin championships to his credit. Tom Quinn. Aiming at Keith Barr. Damien Collins. Now the referee deems it's a sliding challenge, I think, rather than a sideline ball. So the free is to Erin Zyle. Let's have a look at this again. Oh yes, sandwich, in fact, no sliding tackle. Keith Barr. Oh, that's a good ball to Robbie Boyle. The marking of Jason Killeen a little bit loose in the early stages. Robbie has been a real thorn in every team that Erin Zyle have played. However, this time he sends it wide. Interesting to see how far Martin McNamara's kick-out travels against that breeze. Not bad considering the strength of that wind. And it's Erin Zyle that has it. Tony Gorman's attempted crossfield ball over towards Neil Crossan. Doesn't get there without a free to the Dublin champions. This is Kieran O'Hare, top scorer indeed in the All-Ireland Club Championship campaign, not just for Erin Zyle, with 5 goals and 22 points. He's knocked up 1-5 in 2 games. That was against Eden Derry of Offaly and Castlehaven of Cork. Martin McNamara. You could hear him in the Hogan stand saying it was his. Aidan Donlan. Right half back is Aidan Fahy. And this is Derek Riley, one of the emerging stars, not just in Corofin, but indeed in Galway. And then he makes a mess of it. And Derek Riley will be very, very disappointed with that effort. This young man, back in '95, was man of the match in 3 separate finals. But I'm sure that Tom Quinn will be happy if he sends every shot wide. Unchallenged, unmarked, Jerry Burke. Pass going astray, Damien Collins latching onto it. Here's the birthday boy. Patrick Deegan. Over towards Tony Gorman. Keith Barr wanting to control it, looking for a loose player. That's good play by Ollie Burke. He too played with the Galway Miners in '76. Comes to his other brother Jerry as Aidan Donnelly goes forward. Here's Johnny Barr. Had a great game against Clane. Not a great game against Castlehaven. And that's a good ball into space for Neil Crossan to run onto. Nice play, nice skill by Kieran O'Hare. And a very good point. The first of this All-Ireland Cup football final. And it took almost 6 minutes of play. Nice footwork here by O'Hare, cutting inside the Corofin defence. Difficult enough angle, and he took it well. Easily finding his wing back at the far side, Tomas Greeny. This is Aidan Donlan again. August O'Reach. Good low ball in towards his full forward, Eddie Steed. Taking that a little bit perhaps too much out of it. And an easy one for Tom Quinn. Available is Keith Murray. To Mick Deegan. Erin's Isle controlling matters. Very open game. Marking not that tight, surprisingly. It's going to be a line ball for Erin's Isle. Coming forward is Keith Murray. Oh, superbly gathered by Jerry Burke. Ray Silk. Corofin not in any way overawed by this Dublin and Leinster Championship winning side. And Keith Murray did very well. As that ball seemed to slow down in pace. Probably due to the winds. Johnny Barr being a little bit optimistic with a crossfield ball. Anticipated well by Aidan Donlan. And Donlan and Burke's role are crucial for Corofin at midfield. Because so far they've been dominating in every game. Mick Deegan again. Switching play over towards Neil Crossan. Kieran O'Hare is available. Taking a little bit too much out of it and 2 hops of the ball as well. Conclusion, a free for Corofin. That's a good ball into the space for Derek Riley to run onto. Will push in the back perhaps. Corofin are protesting. Now comes a fair shoulder. And a little bit of swiping at each other between Derek Riley and Keith Murray. Referee Pat Casserly waves play on as cornerback Martin Naughton sends one up towards Tony Gorman. Good block down by Trevor Burke. Gorman has it again. Here's Robbie Boyle. And that's going to be a free for Erin's Isle. This is Kieran O'Hare going for his second point of the match. 1 from play. Can we add on 1 from a free? Let's see. Yes, we can. 2 points for Kieran O'Hare, 2 points for Erin's Isle. Almost 10 minutes gone now in the first half. Still no score for Corofin, and you can again see how strong that breeze is in favour of the Finglas boys. Up at the other end, Eddie Steed and Ken Spratt look on as Martin McNamara, the Corofin goalkeeper, places the ball for the second time. And now comes the kick out. Johnny Barr going up high. Mick Deegan trying to latch onto the loose ball. Derek Riley, Keith Murray switched over on Derek Riley, following him everywhere he goes. Just a slight delay here until the ball arrives. Now Jerry Burke has it. And yet another free, this time for a foul, and Michael Donlan quickly taken. The left half forward, Trevor Burke. Nice skill by Burke. He needs a little bit of support. He was held by Keith Barr, and that's going to be a free for Corofin. The first real opportunity for the Galway boys. No question whatsoever about being held. Derek Riley with an easy tap over for Corofin's first point in this All-Ireland final. Tom Quinn getting the signal from Johnny Barr to send it out to the wing. This is Damien Collins. Left half forward, Eddie Barr. Brother Johnny to Mugser, better known as Keith Murray. Neil Crossan, scorer of some controversial goals in this campaign, none more so than against Castlehaven. Easy block down, and Jerry Burke is helping out his defence. Aidan Fahy thought about another fisted pass, and he gives it to his opposite number 5, Damien Collins. Kieran O'Hare, very prominent in the opening stages. A testing ball for the goalkeeper. Does he come or does he stay? He stays, and Trevor Burke sweeps it. Ray Silk over towards corner forward Michael Kenny. This is the man that missed the semi-final against Dungiven due to injury. There's only one man there, Eddie Steed. Ken Spratt giving it to Johnny Barr, who gives it away to Shane Conlist. Derek Riley coming in, and Tom Quinn. Good goalkeeping. Keith Murray finding Mick Deegan. He's put under a little bit of pressure. Gary O'Connor. Mick Deegan coming from the centre of his defence, and then intercepted by the other number 6, Ray Silk. There are gaps developing up front if Ray can avail of the space. Gone past one Erin's Ironman. There's a second coming in to challenge. Now spreads it over towards Derek Riley. Keith Murray standing off him. Nice skill by Riley, going back into the challenge. Made it difficult for himself, but what about that for class? Derek Riley with his second point for the match. And the sides are level after 14.5 minutes of play in the first half. Riley has the potential to be a real star. Question is, will he fulfill the potential? But this time, he pleases the Corofin people. Goes all the way down towards Tony Gorman and his marker, Aidan Fahy. Corofin protest, none more so than Aidan himself. But it is going to be a sideline ball for Erin's Isle. Children of Finglas adding a little bit of support there to Johnny in the background as he goes for the glory. A mighty kick, but unfortunately sent wide. The side still level. This is Damien Collins. Joins the club, would you believe, as a senior hurler, and has turned out, a junior hurler at that, but has turned out to be a vital member of the senior football team in Erin's Isle. That's a line ball for Corofin. Michael Kenny unable to keep it in. Martin Nocton going to take this sideline ball himself. As the Erin's Isle dugout look on very anxiously. Not exactly happy, I'm sure, with the first half performance. They were expecting a little bit more jazz and jizz. It's Corofin now, trying to find each time the tactic of getting Eddie Steed the ball. Not working so far. Johnny Barr is now helping out his defence. That's a very intelligent ball out towards Kieran O'Hare. The support play is in the form of Damien Collins. Back to O'Hare. Brought down by Trevor Burke. And that's going to be another free for Erin's Isle. This time inside the Corofin 45. Let's just see this again as Kieran O'Hare brought down. No doubt about that one. And it's here that you would normally see a man called Charlie Redmond take these frees. Now it's the turn of Robbie Boyle. Hits it very well and accurately. Good score by Robbie Boyle. Erin's Isle are back in front, even if it is only the narrowest of margins. 3 points to 2. Martin McNamara just getting a word of advice from Ray Silk. I think it's possibly to vary the kickouts a little bit, which Martin acknowledged. So let's see now. All the players are going over to the new Cusick stand side, and that's exactly where he's aiming for. Goes down the middle, however. Jerry Burke. Ray Silk available. What Nick Deegan can do for Erin's Isle, Silky can do for Corofin. Michael Donlan. Well blocked down by Tony Gorman. The support is from Ado Fahy. Good play here by Trevor Burke again. Not willing to give possession away. This is the right half-back, Aidan Fahy. Gives it plenty of air, but it's also very much right and wide. Erin's Isle still leading by just 1 point, with almost 19 minutes gone now in this first half. Man receiving some attention is Johnny Barr, and his performance, particularly in the Leinster Club final against Clane, was quite memorable. A bit of a character on and off the field. Very likeable Johnny Barr. Let's see how he got that belt. It just seemed to hit Ray Silk's shoulder. Total accident. I don't think it'll stop Johnny Barr from talking somehow, as he regains his position around the middle of the field. Tom Quinn. Here's Johnny, well, almost. Here's Ray Silk, who now suffered exactly what Johnny Barr did a moment ago. Just ran into a player. And Ray Silk now is feeling a little pain. Again, a total accident. You may remember, those of you not from Galway, here it is, the X-Ling. In fact, he bumped into Aidan Donlan. Ray Silk, you might remember, playing against Tyrone in the All-Ireland semi-final in 1996. He was wearing the number 5. So the free is for Corofin. Taker, Jerry Burke. Another Burke, Trevor. Damien Collins staying with him. Terrible ball. We call that a hospital pass. And Mick Deegan comes away with it. Martin knocked it. Back to Keith Barr. Mick Deegan, Dublin Intercounty Partners, coming forward. Eddie Barr. Keith, brother, calls for it. Tight defence on both sides. And going back is John Lardner, who's quite happy to see it go out over the end line. It's 3 wides now for Erin Zile, 3 wides for Corofin. And just 5 points between them on the scoreboard. 3 for Erin Zile and 2 for Corofin. Not a very eventful All-Ireland Cup football final so far. And it's a little bit dead when you compare it with the excitement of the hurling game. But it's early moments. We won't be too critical. There's a lot of tension around Croke Park as both these clubs seek the ultimate glory in the sun. The All-Ireland Cup football title and the Andy Merrigan Trophy. Ray Silk willing to help out Tomas Greeny. Under pressure, touched the ball along the ground, and the free is given to the Leinster champions. Kieran O'Hare, again, the man that's going to take it. This time going to take it off the ground. It's it well and sends it over the bar. That's 3 points for Kieran O'Hare, 4 points for Erin Zile. I think, again, Martin McNamara might be wise to change over to our side of the field, to the Hogan stand side. A lot of players clustering around the middle. And right down the middle it goes again. Johnny Barr punching it forward. Coming out to meet it is Niall Crossan. It's a terrible pass for Tony Gorman, who did very well. Robbie Boyle is available in space, but that too is driven wide. And a certain amount of uneasiness creeping into some of the Erin Zile players' reactions, telling them to throw it around a little bit more. But the shooting boots don't seem to be fully accurate. John Lardner was getting a couple of words from the sideline, but he's gone back in on Kieran O'Hare, so no real alteration. Ray Silk is the man with the ball. Jerry Burke. Corofin again have the patience to try and open up this Erin Zile defence. Trevor Burke getting inside. Shane Conlisk survives the challenge. Here's a good effort by Conlisk, and that's a very good score. When Corofin do play it directly, they would have to impress you with some nice flowing football. Shane Conlisk showed a bit of bravery here. Good direct play and a good shot as well. Tom Quinn trying to find Keith Barr, runs on for Robbie Boyle. Keith Barr is the overlap, but it's a terrible pass. Nice play here, making himself available is Michael Donlan. Given a lot of space by Mick Deegan. Eddie Steed. Again, it's always trying to find Steed. And good play by Gary O'Connell. Eddie Barr, man of the match against Castlehaven. Mick Deegan. Robbie Boyle, showing he can take a ball either high or low. Niall crossing, and that is gone wide. Surprisingly, that considering Erin's Isle are playing with wind advantage in this first half, that Robbie Boyle isn't near the goal mouth, and that they would send in the ball not just low, but very high as well, because he's got tremendous fielding ability. Good play by Boyle, but Neil Crossan just unfortunate. Now Martin McNamara will try this side, surely. Now again down the middle, no variation in the kickouts. Good fielding by Aidan Donlan. Another Galway minor, ex-Galway minor in 95. Shane Conlisk feeding Derek Riley. Conlisk on the overlap. Chasing after him is Gary O'Connell. Great run by Shane. There's men inside, but not there. Eddie Steed wanted it just a little bit forward, not behind him. Johnny Barr. And there are times when Corofin, when they play it right, they really do expose this Erin's Isle defence. And remember, it's against the breeze. The signs are a little bit ominous. They're warning bells rather than flashing lights, because certainly the Corofin attack looked dangerous. Aidan Fahy. Ray Silk telling him to drive it long as much as he can. There's nobody readily available, however. Here's Ray Silk. Then they'll try and find Eddie Steed. Instead of that, he gets the free. Yes, pulling and dragging there on Ray Silk. No effort at all to play the ball. An unfortunate aspect of Gaelic football at the moment. Here's a chance, however, because that is good football. Michael Donlan, his first point in the All-Ireland Cup final. And the sides are level again. Second time in this All-Ireland final. Nice play here by Michael Donlan. AIB Connacht Player of the Year. And he shows why. Tom Quinn finds Eddie Barr. Low down towards Kieran O'Hare. Free for Erin's Isle. Robbie Boyle. He take on his direct marker, Jason Killeen. Great strength. And that is gone across the face of the goal. I think that Erin's Isle will be well advised to keep Robbie Boyle as near to Martin McNamara's goal mouth as possible, because he has the strength and the football ability. Just look at this now. Sheer power, great ability. And it took almost 5 Corofin lads to really put him off. And over at the far side, there seems to be a player in trouble. And it looks like Jason Killeen, as he gets attention from his manager, Tony Murphy. The referee has acknowledged that Jason is going off for attention. Ray Silk is now going back in towards the full-back position. There's nobody on as of yet. And Martin McNamara has been told by the referee to take the kick out. And there is, however, a change, as Corofin introduced Kevin Newell, the man that Jason Killeen replaced for this final. Kevin played against Dungiven at fullback, and he now has the task of marking Robbie Boyle. And as you can see, Kevin Newell is a big man, 6'3", and ideal maybe to mark Robbie Boyle. Breaking ball at midfield, picked up by Michael Kenny. Oh, that's a good ball. Up towards Eddie Steed. Ken Spratt, the Erin's Isle captain, with him. But it's a free for the Connacht champions. And that's quite a difficult angle, it must be said. As we now approach that half-time whistle, we're now 20 seconds, in fact, into injury time in this first half. Now, can Corofin, from here, take the lead? Dropping it in. Shane Conlisk. Erin's Isle players getting a leg and an arm to it. A difficult shot. That's a great point. An inspirational score by Aidan Donlan. His first of the All-Ireland final. And now Corofin lead at half-time, surely. 3 points against Dungiven for the big man. 1 point against Erin's Isle so far. And that could well be a real motivator for the half-time chat. Tom Crane again with the kick-out. Eddie Barr unable to hold on to it. Ray Silk. Remember, Corofin are playing against this breeze. And if they lead at half-time, it'll be a real boost to their psychological welfare, I'm sure. Here is Shane Conlisk. And maybe 2 points in front. He hits it well. It's dropping, but dropping wide. And that is Corofin's 4th wide of the game. So surely the Galway champions will be happy to be leading at half-time, as that is quickly taking the kick out. And again, Aidan Donlan, as Erin's Isle game plan seems to be slightly upset at the moment. Eddie Steed moving from one side of the field to another. That's a good ball in towards Derek Riley. Lovely ball control. Trying to get inside Keith Murray. Johnny Barr leaving it behind him. Shane Conlisk. Good ball work again. He needs support now. Derek Riley has gone inside. Here's a chance. 3 points for Derek Riley as Corofin come with a surge deep in injury time in the first half. Let's watch this again. The unfortunate Johnny Barr left it behind him. Conlisk and Riley causing problems, combined beautifully here. And the referee, Pat Casserly, says that is half-time here at Croke Park. A late burst by Corofin puts them in front by 2 points. Shane Conlisk and Derek Riley causing a lot of problems as the Galway and Connacht champions lead at half-time by 6 points to 4.
Yes, well, as Marty Morrissey said there, Corofin surely has to be against that breeze. 2 points up, they couldn't have asked for more than that out of that first half. Whether their short passing game will exactly suit the conditions in the second half when they will be favoured by that strong breeze remains to be seen. The more direct ball surely will be necessary in that second half. However, 2 points up, Corofin looking good as we take a commercial break. Join us back again after that.
The performance.
And on to hit Pat Spillane or something like that. Corofin, as we were saying before the break, have been going very well here against that breeze.
Yes, look very impressive, I must say. And to go in with 6 points, to lead by 2 against that breeze is a tremendous performance. Erin's Isle look very disjointed at the moment. They've had a lot of forages up the field and lost possession at the end of the time, you know. But I must say, Corofin are very strong on the ball and got some excellent scores in the first half. Here we see one of those scores, and it's tremendous play. Breaks inside, sees his opportunity and sees the man coming through.
Shane Conlisk took this point very well then, didn't he?
He did a great score with his left foot straight over the bar, and they've been doing that very, very well today. And I'm sure Corofin themselves would be disappointed they didn't actually put more scores on the board, because they've had a number of wides as well. Here we see a high ball into the square as it breaks out. It's picked up. And again, into the strong breeze. They have tremendous scores against what is a very, very strong breeze. And they have a lot to play for in the second half. They will be going in very, very confident at half-time, 6 points ahead. But I think you've mentioned before the break here, directness of play, I think, in the second half is the key now. I mean, they've had a lot of sharp passing themselves. They've lost possession on numerous occasions as well. Direct play with that strong breeze, and I think they look strong to hold out at the stage.
Okay, well, that remains to be seen what happens in the second half of this football final. Of course, as you already saw, we had the hurling final a little bit earlier on. A great win for Borough in that. Gerard Canning was our match commentator for that, and Gerard joins us now. Tremendous win, second All-Ireland, Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Michael. As the pipe band continues to play, Erin Zyle are back on the field. And interesting statistic for you. There's an attendance today of 36,545. That's the official attendance, which according to local statistical experts here at the commentary position is 1,000 up on last year. So the club finals undoubtedly a real success. Let's just have a look as the teams come out and as the crowds enjoy the music at half-time. If there are any positional switches, not that I can see. Tony Gorman is warming up, Robbie Boyle. They're all back on the pitch, yes. No changes that I can see, at least at this moment in time, on the Erin Zyle lineup. The parish team of Finglas against the men of Corofin. And what a reception. There's Paul McGettigan with the glasses, native of Donegal, but very much now a fully fledged Corofin man. Huge response as Jerry Burke and company come back on the field. I'm sure that Paul McGettigan, as well as Tony Murphy, their manager, Ger Keane and Martin Collins, they're all the backroom team, told their players at half-time, you are a half an hour from making history, a half an hour to becoming the first Galway, the first Connacht club to win this All-Ireland club title. So let's enjoy the next 30 minutes as the referee comes out to join Keith Barr around the centre of the pitch. Interesting to see as Pat Casserly goes to the midfield position there that Eddie Barr and Podge Cunningham have switched position. So Eddie Barr is now playing at centre forward. That's the only real alteration at the start of the second half. So where will the bonfires be tonight? Just off the N17, or indeed in the parish of Finglas. It's all to play for. First free of the match again goes to Erin Zyle. Keith Barr won the first one in the first half. I think it was his brother Johnny that won this one. Tony Gorman. Robbie Boyle, again using his strength and his football ability to make room for Podge Cunningham. Still down is Eddie Barr. Dangerous ball. Good calling by John Lardner. Trevor Burke. Terrible ball. Keith Murray did well. Mick Deegan. Erin Zyle starting at least in third gear. Tony Gorman. Chance of a point. Not a good pass, but Kieran O'Hare has the football ability to make, well, almost an end of himself. They all fall down. The referee gets an amount of abuse, particularly from Eddie Barr, for not giving a free to Erin Zyle. Meanwhile, it's Aidan Donlan, and that great point to his credit in the first half. To Jerry Burke, defying the age of 39, to Shane Conlisk. Nice footballer, nice shot, great point. Corofin mean business, and they are now 3 points to the good. Wonderful skill by the accountancy student at Athlone Institute of Technology. A point against Dungiven, 2 points against Erin Zyle. It's put up to the Dublin and Leinster champions. Good play by Ollie Burke. Good anticipation to Ray Silk. Referee waves play on. Back to Ollie. Waiting for it. Says, got to kneel him off it and down quickly to his forward line. Johnny Barr. Tom Quinn has to come off his goal line. And it almost didn't quite made Martin Upton. And that was the sigh in the crowd. Here's Keith Barr again. Damien Collins. Point here to be taken, and it is. Corky, they call him, in north side of Dublin. Man of the match in the Dublin County final. Erin realise that they have a challenge on their hands and they are responding. Right down the middle to Johnny Barr. Mick Deegan. There's a hustle and a bustle about Erin's Isle at the start of the second half. Remember, there's just 2 points between the teams. Keith Barr. Well, Keith was fortunate to get that free because he literally put his head down and went in between the two Corofin players and won his free. There was no space. There it was. There was the decision going through. And he was stopped. I think Keith will be all right. Kieran O'Hare is the man that's waiting to take the free as Keith gets some attention. Still seems to be suffering just a little bit. Now Keith is able to continue on. So Kieran O'Hare has 3 points to his credit. As the sun begins to shine on Croke Park. Just 4.5 minutes gone in the second half. O'Hare with the free, dropping it in and dropping it over the bar. Now 1 point between the teams. And it's all because of, I'm sure, what was said at half-time, because they didn't start in first and second, which you could say, analysing the first half, that Erin's Isle seem to be playing in. They're in third gear at the moment, with potential for a lot more. But remember, Corofin do have wind advantage. And maybe, judging by that picture, the sun as well. Picked up nicely and quickly by Podge Cunningham. The support is from Mick Deegan. Kevin Newick survives 2-3 challenges and quickly taken to Michael Donlan. Trevor Burke wants it quickly inside. Here's a man called Michael Kenny. That won't work, so it's going to be slowed down. And I think that's what Eddie Steed is just saying. As a result of this challenge, there was a high flow there. But Eddie Steed was telling his colleagues, okay, they've come at us big time in the start of the second half. Let's cool matters down now. No quick freeze. It's curling, but it's not curling sufficiently well enough. But in many ways, it breaks Erin's Isle's concentration, but indeed, very cleverly, they're keeping it at the pace that they started the second half. Fast and furious. Podge Cunningham to Keith Murray. Just a little bit too high for Neil Crossan. Ollie Burke to Michael Donlan. Mick Deegan's attempted challenge didn't work. Jerry Burke just squelching out of his hands. Chance of a point, and Jerry Burke has sent it over the bar. That's exactly what the Galway boys needed. The Garda, based in Mill Street in Galway City, has scored his first point in this All-Ireland final. But if Corofin win, they owe an awful lot of credit to this man, Jerry Burke, and his midfield partner, Aidan Donlan. They have continued to at least have parity. But indeed, if you were analysing it, I'd say it was more or less 60-40. This is Michael Dunlop. If he had to depart, it certainly would be a major blow. I'm sure he won't be, as he gets attention there from the club doctor, Paddy McDonough, and his manager, Tony Murphy. Over towards Trevor Burke. Steps away from Gary O'Connell. Good run by Burke. Keith Barr comes into challenge. Superb effort, but not accurate. Derek Riley. Just 20 years of age since last month. Down at the other end, Ollie Burke keeps guard on the Erin's Isle defence. While brother Jerry continues to exert extreme pressure on this Erin's Isle defence. Michael Donlan needs support. Jerry Burke is there again. Onto the left foot. He scored a moment ago, but this one is... Yes, it is. How could I doubt you, even for a moment, Jerry Burke? 39-year-old Garda, Jerry Burke, has crucially come into the game at a period when Corofin were being swamped by Erin's Isle. 2 great points off the trusty left foot. It's back to a 3-point advantage for the Connacht champions. Gary O'Connell. A race for Keith Barr, knocked away by Trevor Burke. Keith waited for it and almost had it. And the referee a little bit, perhaps, harsh, but Keith is holding the side of his head there, possibly a knee, as the ball was being sought. I think we'd have to see that again. Keith, there it is, there's a knee into the head, and the referee giving the free. Erin's Isle chasing this match yet again. Kieran O'Hare being harassed by Aidan Donlan. Another free for Erin's Isle. A school teacher from Coolock, based in Coolock, but very much a fingless man. Kieran O'Hare gets his 5th point of the match. Very consistent performance by Kieran O'Hare. Corofin introducing a substitute, and they introduce Kieran Comer, and he goes in at corner forward, and the man that's going off is Michael Kenny. So he's just 16 years of age. It's a baptism of fire for this man, Kieran Comer. But in a parish of 1,500, a small area off the N17, then every man counts. Even if you are just 16 years of age in Croke Park. Oh, well gathered by Damien Collins. Keith Murray. He needs help now. Mugser. It's there in the form of Johnny Barr. To Mick Deegan. The final pass going astray. Jerry Burke into the space. Gary O'Connell anticipated it well, but fouled by Michael Donlan. Mick Deegan. Looking and seeking for a better ball this time. Oh, well done. Kevin Newell, inspirational against the big man Robbie Boy. Over towards Derek Riley. Let through his grasp. Psychological victory for the Mubser. Keith Murray is having a great battle with Derek Riley. Hodge Cunningham. To Collins. to Deegan. Looking for somebody available. Keith Barr. Corofin defence sitting smothered in their laurels. Neil Crossan cutting inside, and that's a very good point by Neil Crossan. And that's his first point. But the Corofin defence adopted an unusual tactic there. They kind of all rolled back and sat more or less on the 20-metre line. I'm sure it wasn't deliberate, but we're far better off challenging early. Good point, however, by this man. Good player. I'm sure down in Castlehaven they won't want to see or hear of Neil Crossan ever again. But famous ball that hit the goal post and just went centimetres inside the line. Some jersey pulling. Well spotted by Pat Casserly. And Jerry Burke is playing like an 18-year-old. And for some more jersey pulling, this time by Martin Naughton, it's well within the range of Derek Riley. All-Ireland College's winner in 1994. Trying to go for an All-Ireland club and put his parish in front. 2 points again, the difference. 4 points for Derek Riley. And Corofin have 10 points on the scoreboard. This game is much more interesting now. Knocked away by Tomas Greeny. Keith Barr. Pulled out. And again Keith Barr is having a frustrating afternoon. And slowly but surely Keith's temper is about to blow up. And this time I think Keith is correct. Fully. Pulled and dragged, no effort whatsoever. And then as he fell, an accidental knee. So, change in the Erin's Isle team. Seamus McCormick might be coming in just a moment. This is Kieran O'Hare. Nice ball control. Good defending. This time Corofin are challenging. Robbie Boyle. Kevin Newell getting goal side of him. Good effort by Martin McNamara. Good save. They're the difficult ones. Ray Silk shouldering a challenge. And away come Galway and Connacht. Trevor Burke. He needs support now, and it's, yes, Jerry Burke, yet again, into the space for Derek Riley. Now this is a game of football. Trying to get away from Martin Naughton, brought down, and no efforts to play the ball. And that is a free for Corofin. And I apologise to Martin Naughton, essentially Keith Murray, I think, that did the damage here. No effort, there it is. So Keith Murray, guilty. And he's booked. Seamus McCormick is the man that's coming on. As we watch this here, Robbie Boyle, a good save by the goalkeeper. Now that is a difficult save, particularly when Johnny Barr is coming in on you. Meanwhile, Riley, difficult angle, sends it wide. And while all that was happening, Tony Gorman, the number 22 for Erin's Isle, is gone off. And the man that's on is the number 20, Seamus McCormick. Bad kick out by Tom Quinn, but sure Tom will tell me afterwards it was aimed at Mick Deegan. And that's a sweet ball to Seamus McCormick. But his first touch results in a free. Still 2 points. Seamus McCormick, he was very lucky here because he had actually lost possession before he was fouled. Keith Barr loading it in. Martin McNamara can only this time wave at it as it goes over the bar. 1 point between the teams. We've been making a point all through, indeed, this match, that the wind is a factor, but it must be said that Corofin and indeed Erin's Isle have been playing very well, good intelligent football against the breeze. I'm sure it has a lot to do with the possession-type football that both teams play. Great catch by Trevor Burke. Now the players beginning to run off the ball a little bit more. Good anticipation again by Damien Collins. Nick Deegan again. Robbie Boyle and Kevin Ewan. Ray Silk survives Boyle's challenge. Fair and square. Good running by Silk. About to be sandwiched, about to be fouled by Keith Barr. Good play by Ray Silk. He's doing exactly what Nick Deegan has done so well for Erin's Isle in the championship, going forward. This is a man that retired in '96, Eddie Steed. He was persuaded to come back out of retirement in '97 and proceeded to win the Galway Footballer of the Year award. But I don't think he'll win any awards for this. That is Corofin's 8th wide of the game. And the spirit of the parish continues loud and well here in Croke Park, that they try to encourage their local boys to victory. Tom Quinn's kick out being gathered eventually by Keith Murray. Gary O'Connell. First year on the team, Gary. The man who's been on it for some time, Johnny Barr. Damien Collins making himself available. Mick Deegan. And Corofin again, it's almost, dare I say it, almost like soccer. They're going way back to defend and waiting for Erin's Isle to get into the Corofin half of the field. It's not a good move, because this is a great move by Erin's Isle. Oh, brilliant save by Martin McNamara. He's been called upon just once, and the Galway custodian was in splendid form. But the Corofin defence, I don't know what they're thinking about, but they seem to be going back all the time. Better to go forward, like here. Undoubtedly fouled is Martin Naughton. That's a free for Erin's Isle, as the sun begins to shine again on Martin McNamara. What about this for a save? Corofin defending was terrible. It was eventually Eddie Barr who tried to place it past Martin McNamara. But what about that for a save? Keith Barr underneath it. Just a gentle hook push. Not really a foul, says Keith. Kieran O'Hare. Confident to take on John Lardner, and that's a free. And Corofin's concentration has dropped. And Erin's Isle, to their credit, despite trailing, are playing with tremendous determination. Well won free by Kieran O'Hare. Going for half a dozen points in this club final. His average in the last 2 matches has been 1-5. He's scored 5 already. This could be his 6th point. This to level the match. 6 points, and the teams are level for the 3rd time. Twice in the first half, once in the second half. This is the 3rd time they're level. And it could have been more, only for Martin McNamara. And he's in no rush with the kick-out. Grabbed by Shane Conlisk to Trevor Burke, to Jerry Burke. Yet again, Burke comes to the rescue. Well, Jerry Burke has been a hero this afternoon, because on each and every occasion, there have been 3 times when Corofin were in trouble, and 3 times Burke responded with 3 kicks over the bar. The ageless wonder from Corofin. It's at those important moments in a match that truly great players emerge. Well anticipated by Burke's midfield partner, Aidan Donlan. To Derek Riley. He's going to go solo. That is not intended as a pass to Eddie Steed. Knocked away by Ken Spratt. Shane Conlisk with Damien Collins after it. Still Shane. Doing well. Calling for it in the centre is Jerry Burke. Trying to get away from his marker. Floating it in towards Eddie Steed. Trying to turn, and in the old-fashioned style, fists it over the bar. The old fellas are great in Corofin because they are showing the way to this Galway team, perhaps to an All-Ireland title. Jerry Burke floated it in. Eddie Steed did so well here, and then the old style, fisting it over the bar. Meanwhile, back of the ranch, it's Podge Cunningham. Trying to get away, knocked away by Trevor Burke, who's everywhere. This is Gary O'Connell, trying to make an angle for himself, looking again for a point to bring Aaron's Isle a little bit closer, but that is going miles wide. 7 wides for Aaron's Isle. And Gary, whose father is a Kerryman, will not be happy. These young men from Corofin now give voice to their feelings. 6 minutes left. 6 agonizing minutes for Corofin, and indeed Aaron's Isle. But don't be a fool if you think Aaron's Isle are dead and gone. They were down 10 points against St. Vincent's in the Dublin Championship and won it. And who will ever forget Castlehaven? They're down by 2 points with 6 minutes to go in the most important game of their lives. Jerry Burke to take it quickly. Down towards Derek Riley. Eddie Steed is the target. And he wins a tremendous tussle. This is Shane Conlisk. There's a chance of a goal here. It's a point. A hat-trick of points for Corofin from this young student. A man called Shane Conlisk. Eddie Steed was the target. He did so well here to knock it down for Conlisk, and he wisely took his checks. Jerry Burke almost grabbing it as Conlisk comes again. If Burke represents the old members of this team, like Eddie Steed, Conlisk and Riley represents the youth. They can smell it now. They can hear it. This will put them 4 points to the gut. Eddie Steed again, beating Ken Spratt, the Aaron's Isle captain. Riley going for point, Ivarakui. And Corofin are on the verge of history. They are now 4 points to the gut. 4 minutes left. But I warn you, you rule out Aaron's Isle at your peril. This is a great club in the north side of Dublin. Podge Cunningham. That final whistle has not arrived. Ray Silk, is he about to bring home the Andy Merrigan trophy? Long ball. Up towards Eddie Steed, and one again. Lost, thanks to the tenacity of Kenny Spratt. Not a good ball from Mick Deegan. Trevor Burke. Again, I must congratulate Corofin because they wait for the man to become available. Their shooting leaves a little bit to be desired, but they are clever enough in the height of battle to hold possession. There's no goalkeeper at the moment. But it doesn't matter because this is Robbie Boyle. This is Aaron's Isle's best chance. Chance for Kieran O'Hare, and Martin McNamara again saves brilliantly. Brilliant goalkeeping. He's pushed, he's shoved, he's down, but he's not out. It's a free out to Martin McNamara. The crowd now encroaching Croke Park. This is heroic stuff from the Galway goalkeeper. Kieran O'Hare this time was trying to pass Martin McNamara. Here he was shoved, and there went the whistle. Crowd just encroaching onto the pitch. The spirit of Corofin and Belclare just too much now. Erin's Isle, hot favourites in some people's eyes, about to fall in Croke Park at the final hurdle. Good work by Damien Collins. Quickly taken to Gary O'Connor. Terrible ball. Giving Kieran O'Hare no chance. Michael Dunn to Jerry Burke. Sideline ball, a little bit of a shove in fact. A free for Jerry Burke. Jerry Burke into the space that Derek Riley runs onto. Back towards Kieran Comer, the 16-year-old. Robbie Boyle, remember he's the full forward. Loses out, there's a kick there afterwards by Robbie Boyle. Sheer frustration, we will excuse Robbie Boyle, but the Andy Merrigan trophy is surely now heading down the N17. A new song perhaps for the Saw Doctors as Corofin bring home the illustrious All-Ireland club title. Robbie Boyle's name being taken, and Kieran Comer goes back into position, limping but happy as Derek Riley gets his half-dozen points. They know now that Corofin are about to be crowned All-Ireland club football champions. We're into injury time. 20 seconds almost into that injury time. And Corofin ending in style. Stopped this time by Keith Murray. Well, the first 20 minutes of this game may have been dead. The last 10 minutes of the first half, and indeed all of the second half, has been most entertaining. But the plaudits, the honours, belong to Corofin. They do so with style, with passion, and fully deserve this All-Ireland club title. Undoubtedly, one of the heroes of today's game, 39-year-old Jerry Burke. When it mattered, Burke responded, not alone with winning possession, but scoring 3 points. Undoubtedly, man of the match, Jerry Burke. There'll be some celebration in the West tonight. Disappointment for Finglas, but even they will have to admit that this is a very good Galway outfit. There were vital moments in this game, none more so than when Trevor Burke and Shane Conlisk combined to provide Jerry Burke with the chance of a point. This means an awful lot to Belclare and Corofin, two half parishes which amalgamated on Easter Sunday in 1925, but on St. Patrick's Day in 1998, 114 years old this club, they bring back the All-Ireland Club Football Trophy. It's a reward for a club that has 80 to 90 under-8s training in Belclare and Corofin on every Saturday morning. That youth policy has resulted in this ultimate glory when a Galway man will present another Galway man with the All-Ireland Club Football title.
ولا ما ميقص غبار لشان ضاق إلن إلى هيرن على Corofin أهو صار فلبت هلا دوين إنتم لين شاد دهار خبورت هلا إيه بين قلبنا يرى أقام الله إلى هيرن اليوم أقايلو إلى أخو مرس كمان أبس كلوب برودو إير أو الصارو بالجيم تاكو الصوت كمان وقت سكيل إما لا كلير it's lost that old show the Corofin. The William August the Connacht. Marta Crave Sincha Pelle, a goal, an Ash Harsona, the Kego the leaves the club, August the Kego the Glenelg the Sincha, on the against the Shaskashe. The William, the Wayhus, a goal, the Shamalford, Pat Capperley, the Wayne, the Wayhus, Elise. Le banken te steden met de stuwpaal je taal schallen aan dier. Agus haar rudder bij helle. Maar boeges, dat is boeges aan coming. Le lof lente, komen loos naar scheel. A honeycomb shot, een slootje jou. Van de star fuzzy shot, een ekal. Mars in de goortje kan de hele willen. Maar Tommy de vanaf le shot, le vader. Bronnen, Corren en die Milligan. En kaptein Corofin, racing.
Yes, indeed, the West is very much awake. Corofin Grey Silk accepts the Andy Merrigan Trophy as they win the All-Ireland Club title.
Well, an absolutely superb performance there by Corofin, neighbouring parish to my own, down there in County Galway. That pretty much wrapped up our coverage then for today, but of course the sport continues at a pace here on RTÉ television, including Champions League soccer featuring Manchester United, and then of course next week we will see the Benson Hedges Irish Masters snooker tournament on your television screens. But here at Croke Park today we saw the first two major trophies of the year handed out in Gaelic games. To Borough of Offaly, that was the hurling title, to Corofin of Galway, winners of the football club title. It's part of what promises to be a great year's coverage of Gaelic games on RTÉ television. I hope you enjoyed today's fair. From all of us here at Croke Park, bye-bye.